And very good point too, Mr. Fambro. I appreciate you bringing that out. Mr. Branch and then Mr. Silvera, and that will, okay, excuse me. I will, since Mr. Fambro, I will have Mr. Branch, Mr. Bibb, and then Mrs. Silvera.
I just had a question concerning the difference in the figures from the two different statements we received. So from the UAN printed out system, appropriation status by fund, dated also July 31st, 2014, says that we have $1,199,374.85, which is roughly $100,000 more. So I was just wondering if they're both dated July 31st, and the figures are different by almost 100,000. What is the discrepancy? What's the cause of discrepancy?
The discrepancy, as I mentioned earlier, that it's preliminary. It's not finished as of July 31st. There's still some tweaks, is what I said, that have to be done. Those tweaks are outstanding checks that might not have. I cleared all the checks with the UAN consultant to bring the books up to date so we can get the information in. We cleared some of the outstanding checks. I now have to go back and research and make sure I put in anything that I have not posted as outstanding checks. And so your UAN system, where it's saying 199,000, that's a good observation, Mr. Branch. And our system of our bank, there are still some items that are not posted. If you look at line item number 1, salaries, where we say $1,230,000, but you also see where it says expenditures, only 47%. Well, July is halfway through the year, so there should be a higher percentage, at least 52 to 56%. So there might be something there, which would be, for me, I know what it is, it's the policeman's payroll that's not in there yet. So I need to but put that figure in.
Okay, so in essence, there's still information that requires entry.
Yes.
And then that would bring this number into line with the number that you presented.
Correct.
Thank you.
Still some work to do.
And Mr. Bibb, you were after Mr. Branch.
Yes. Ms. Hollowell,
Yes.
the last two paragraphs, you expand on those due to the increase
Quickly.
in wages. That's
Wrong
the first
thing.
Hold on, I don't have it in front of me. Next one. Due to the increase, say it again, Mr. Bill, hold on. Due to increase in wages, staff changes, insurance premiums, settlements, that's the one we're talking about? You wanted to explain?
Yeah, when did we increase wages?
We increased wages by we finally were able to hire temporary help to help the finance department. That's one increase. There's increase when we switched director to interim director. That was 2 increases. That's his board decision. And then the insurance. Our insurance went from $17,000 to $58,000. Settlements.
17,000 to what?
58.
To 58,000.
58.6, I believe. Not sure. Well, it's on the budget page. Hold on.
We all know that figure, we should, because it's been given out several times.
And it happened in April.
Yeah.
50. I have 58 too.
Okay.
That insurance. Any other one?
In the final paragraph, you recommend that we review this?
Well, I recommend, there are some changes that, not changes, but there are some things that our director, events coming up here in the last quarter of the year, some repairs that we still need, things that buildings and grounds had recommended that still haven't been done. We have to build it into the budget, but it needs to be looked at line by line. This is just the first, thank you, Mr. Silvera, first budget change, because that's going to, the budget that you have in hand goes right along with the budget that is on this page. Once we pass and put the new resolution in, we're going to, you'll update, what line is that? 331, just for example. We'll take maintenance from 35,000 up to 68,000 because we've done that many repairs in the building. So,
One question. What time frame did you have in mind to do this?
To review the budget again?
What time frame you said? We need to do it, didn't give a time, when we need to do this.
To review, well, we'll be reviewing within the next 2 weeks because we need another amendment before, when September's meeting comes in.
Next 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Thank you,
It'll-
Madam President.
Not a problem, very happy to accommodate. Mr. Silvera, and then,
Okay, Ms. Howell, I'm happy to see that we're back to using the UAN system. My question is, when do you anticipate ending the use of QuickBooks in any aspect of the accounting system and operating solely in the UAN system?
I won't stop QuickBooks until November as we begin to shut down and close out, just because we have to mirror, yes, we have to mirror the two systems to just make sure everything is in line. Because we don't have records, some things we're posting from sheets of paper. Ms. Chalmers will be going down this week to make copies of some of our records that are downtown so that we can make sure our postings are correct.
I have one other notation that I want to bring to the attention, that we're going to, eventually, I think I'm going to have to amend the tax resolution, because our policy stipulates that the tax budget is required to show the following year expenditures, current year, and 2 prior years. And the current resolution only has this year. So we're going to be asking for an amendment to make the resolution inclusive of the fiscal officer adding the necessary other figures before it's submitted to the school board and to the
Can I
yes,
Mr. Sevilla, within the whole board's email, you have those 3 columns of taxes. Now, I need you to repeat that again, how many? Well, we did that because you asked. When I sent out,
I didn't ask for this like this, so.
what I sent out to the board was like this. It's in everyone's email. It
That
shows
needs to-
3
that needs
years.
to be attached in the immediate body of the
You
resolution.
want this one
Yes.
instead of that one?
are you finished, Mr. Silvera?
Yes.
Mr. Fambro, please.
Thank you. In this report, Mrs. Hollowell, there's a sentence in here that, there's a sentence here that I just differ with in terms of its accuracy. On the second page, the second paragraph, it says the 2015 budget has been submitted for approval to the ECPL School Board, comma, the ECPL Library Board. I want to make something very clear. The East Cleveland schools are not over the East Cleveland Library in any way, not budget, not anything. And to think that, I just want to dispel that erroneous thinking. We are a subdivision of the state of Ohio, and we trustees run this library. We delegate authority to the director, to the fiscal officer, but we are the sole people under state law who run this library, not the school board. There is a report that the school board, both the school board and the library board plug numbers into, and that document goes to the state. But there's no oversight of the school board over the library in any way, not budget, not money, not nothing. And I just want to make that very clear. The way this paragraph is written, in my reading it, it could imply erroneously that the schools are over the library in some way. Sorry, that's just not correct.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Silvera. No, excuse me, I'm sorry. I promise,
You know what,
Mr.
but you speaking now, this is more.
Okay.
Just to clarify that, Mr. Jambo's understanding, it's stipulated clearly in our policy and procedures, and it's a matter of record, and everything else, that the school board is the library's taxing authority. Based upon the school board being the taxing authority, and the due process that we have to go through for our tax budget to be approved and accounted for. That is the process that it goes through.
Absolutely.
It has to be done. Let me read what the policy says. The policy says this budget must be submitted to the East Cleveland City School Board by May 31st of the preceding year. A library board of trustees resolution is required adopting the budget before it's submitted to the East Cleveland School Board. An optional copy is submitted to the Cuyahoga County Budget Commission. The East Cleveland School Board is required to submit 2 copies of the following year's budget request to the county auditor. A public hearing must have been held by the taxing authority or the library prior to July 20th, which we haven't done. Okay? And a public notice of the budget request must be published 10 days in advance. So, for purpose of your statement, the school board is our taxing authority, and that's the basis on which this process is being moved forward.
I understood that all along. I'm still maintaining the schools are not over the library in any way. That is how the state set these institutions up. It does not, it's not for us to understand that the schools in any way are over this library. We are a separate subdivision of the state of Ohio. The state of Ohio has delegated authority to the library, just like it does to the schools. That's the same thing. The same, we report to the state through what Mrs. Hollowell does, and that is required under the law by the state.
Thank you, Mr. Fambro. We've heard, I think we've heard that. We understand his viewpoint. We've heard Mrs. Silvera, who read the policy, and we're reasonable people. So therefore, we can understand that clearly. Mrs. Turner, thank you very much. Remember, we're not here to promote it. We're here to take care of the library's business, and we got to keep moving. We have a lot of business to take care of.
Just as a clarification, the 2015 budget, I don't remember getting a copy of this for approval or us taking a vote on it. But it's been submitted, so help me out.
Never took a vote.
I didn't think so, because it was submitted for, it says it was submitted for approval, but I'm like, well, we didn't approve it.
No.
So, where are we going with that? Because we gotta, the thing is like, this whole thing was supposed to happen in a time frame that we didn't get with. So where are we now?
It was submitted, but now Mr. Severe wants it changed. And so now we have to go back and change.
So something has been submitted, but we as a board didn't approve it? Is
No,
that what you said?
it's never been approved, and now there's a change, a change wanted, so
Okay.
it'll go back and come back again.
Okay, how does that work? Can somebody help me out here? Because I think I'm needing to be rescued here. It's my understanding that before we send anything out, we all have to approve it, don't we?
Yes, before it goes down to county, he was waiting on it.
Yeah, but that never happened.
It has not happened yet.
Okay, I didn't think it had, so I was like, okay, so what do we do about that?
So what happened at the last meeting, at the finance committee meeting,
Yeah, because I knew it hadn't happened in the meeting I was in, so I'm just trying to.
Oh, here, one conversation at a time.
Got it?
At the finance committee meeting, the budget was requested
For 15,
for 2015
okay,
because it was late.
yes.
I went back, that was on a Thursday, I went back on Friday, I went back that Saturday, got the budget together, submitted it, and, submitted it to the director and to the finance committee, asking the director, does she have any questions? We met that Wednesday. We answered the events and different things that she has coming up for the last quarter, and some things that will roll over into 2015. Those things were put into the budget. I sent it out to the finance committee as requested, and now we're trying to get it passed because it's definitely due downtown. It can be
Trying to get it passed by us as the trustee board, trying to get it passed by who?
Yes, because the board must pass all.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, so when is that gonna happen? Today, we're gonna do that today?
Well, Mr. Severe wants a change again, so it's not gonna happen today. So
So it can happen today, we just make the amendment. I mean, so-
Oh, okay, well, I mean.
Okay.
fine.
Thank you very much.
Okay, because I saw some of
Any
the
questions,
questions.
any more questions, Ms. Turner?
So the clarification is that as we go on to have this meeting, there will be the 2015 budget that will be submitted to us for approval so that this whole process can go forward.
You have it
Correct?
in front of you, yes.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay, I was like, okay, well, we know.
We want your questions answered.
Yeah, no, I'm good
Finish
now. I know what's
Okay.
happening. Now I can.
All right,
I can grab it.
thank you very much. Now you've heard the report of the fiscal officer, you've all had a chance to address any problems or concerns. Your pleasure.
This is,
I move that we accept the report on the fiscal officer.
It's been moved, and it's been moved and second that we accept the report of the fiscal officer's, her financial report. Call for the vote.
Mr. Vibb,
Yes.
Mr. Branch,
Yes.
Mr. Silvera,
Yes.
Mr. Fambro,
Yes.
Ms. Turner,
yes.
Ms. Siner,
She has stepped out.
absent,
Yes.
Ms. Dr. Rice.
Yes.
6 yeses, 1 absent.
The motion passes. Thank you very much, and thank you, Ms. Hollowell, for your detailed report. We're now for our committee reports. I want to remind committee people, let's be concise. Mr. Silvera, Finance Committee report, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a number of resolutions for the board to review. First resolution, 0802-214, resolution authorizing the Finance Committee to act on behalf of the board in the manner of administrative supervision of the fiscal officer and staff. And I want to kind of preface some remarks on this particular resolution and why I felt the need to propose it.
Okay.
I've been on this board for about 4 months now, and I've been going through a significant learning curve and bringing myself up to speed in terms of reviewing documents and getting a better understanding of how this library functions and how it should function. One thing that came quite apparent for me from day one is that there is a significant disconnect between policies and procedures that are recognized as being valid and what the actual day-to-day operations are. And as a result of that disconnect, we've had a number of issues that we've had to address since we've been here. The issue of surety bonds and having them done properly and having the board properly execute its responsibility over those issues and a number of other areas. So, and part of the problem is from my vantage point of observation is that because the board has been in such a contested state of affairs for the last year, this board has not been able to carry out its responsibility of administrative supervision over the fiscal office. And this is an effort to bring some clarity and some efficiency to that process and to fill that void so that there is an efficient interaction between the board and the fiscal office in ensuring from a policy perspective that our policies are up to date and current and that they're being carried out to the best interest of the library. And that is the backdrop for that particular first resolution.
Okay, you've heard the resolution number 0812-2014.